It's Mick Burgess here, and I'm joined backstage at the Corporation in Sheffield with Robbie Crane from Black Star Riders. Robbie, it's great to see you again. How are you doing?
Oh, doing well. Thank you very much. Enjoying the cold. Yeah. As we were saying earlier, love us some Indian curry here in England, and Sheffield's going to be especially great.
It's going to be a fantastic show, and you're closing this whole year with a few shows in the UK. I mean, how have the shows been going so far?
You know, it's been amazing for us. We just got back from South America. We were out with Judas Priest and Alice in Chains, and took a week off, and then we came back out here, and it's just so nice to kind of finalize the Heavy Fire tour where we started it here in England, and in Sheffield we did it on the first run. So it was just nice to be back, and 2 years later, and winding it down. Yeah, it's really nice.
Can I just backtrack a minute there and repeat Judas Priest and Alice in Chains?
Oh, yeah,
how great was that?
It was amazing. Well, we did the American tour this year with Judas Priest in America for 2.5 months with us and Saxon and Priest, and then from there we went and did some other stuff, and then they were kind enough to offer us the South American run with Alice in Chains, and so it was just awesome to be out with those two great bands, and they treated us amazingly well, and we played stadiums and big arenas, and the South American fans, and Chile, and in Buenos Aires, and then all through Rio de Janeiro, all through Brazil. It was amazing. Rise of kingdoms fall, God's country's built condemned. All that glitters has been sold to buy the building in.
So what about the set list on this tour? What have you been playing for your fans this time?
You know, we were putting the set list together for this run in South America. Ricky and I were talking about it, and we were hoping to do some stuff that we hadn't done in a while as a band, and just kind of as much as we always put the set list together for the fans or for the show, we kind of wanted to put it together for us, like the songs that we kind of dug playing live and the ones that we played. There aren't too many surprises or secrets, but there's some songs in there like Charlie Gotta Go that we haven't played in years, and it's just nice to play some of those songs. One of my favorites to play live is Ticket to Rise. I just love that song. It has so much groove. When we were writing it in the studio, it had that feel and that edge, and I'm just happy that we're playing that. It's just a really fun set. I think it covers everything, everything Black Star Riders. And for the Lizzie fans, there's one or two in there, what I mean, but nothing to write home about. But no. I mean, I love it's Scott Gorham. I mean, you got. I mean, people are like, why do you? If you're not Thin Lizzy, then why do you play Lizzie songs? I'm like, because Scott Gorham's in our band, man. I would love to play more. When I first joined the band, it was about 60% Lizzie songs. So I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to play some great Lizzie songs and live my childhood dreams playing with Scott Gorham and acting like I was Phil in the mirror, you know what I mean? But I get to do it live, and it's really nice to.
But it's nice to have that to dip into when you want to. Sure. But it's also nice to have your own material that you've written, and you're there on your own merit,
absolutely,
on somebody else's band. So you got the best of both worlds.
Absolutely, and that was one of the things when I joined the band that I was really I just kind of prefaced to the guys. I was like, I would love to join Black Star Riders, but I don't want to be in a Thin Lizzy cover band, or or in Thin Lizzy for that matter. That's sacred ground to me, and something I would never feel comfortable stepping into. And not judging whether or not they do it or not. I love Lizzie as with Phil Scott, Brian, and even with Gary or Robbo or whoever, and Snowy or whoever, John, and so for me, I just I'm thankful to play the songs, but I preferred to perpetuate the band and go on forward and make something new. So when I joined the band was at the tail end of the All Hell Breaks Loose tour, and I did the last run of that, and so it was so nice to be able to go from that directly into making a new record and going on and creating what we've created in the past 5 years almost.
You mentioned the South American shows that you've just done. Did you do those with Luke Morley from Thunder?
Yeah,
you came along with
it. So Damon had some prior stuff going on. Again, we were out on the Priest tour when we accepted it in America, and it just unfortunately didn't line up with something that Damon had really planned that was really important to him, the release of his new solo record, and so we were talking about who we're gonna get, and Scott Gorham was like, hey, what about Luke Morley? They're buddies, and they
that's right,
they're mates, and so I was like, who's that? I mean, I'd heard of Thunder, and I'm familiar with their music, but I just didn't really know who it was. And then Luke came in with no rehearsal, just came in and nailed it, and it was great, and wonderful person, great guitar player, great guy.
tonight's sort of a bit of a bittersweet night with Damon's last day at work.
Yeah,
last day at work before he moves on to something else. I mean, it must be quite mixed feelings for you, quite sad in a way.
Yeah, but for me, I think it was a couple of years in the making. I think being in a situation like this, and you play with different people, whether it was Marco was in the band or Jimmy was in the band, or just whatever the lineup was at the time. When you play with guys that come from different backgrounds and different ilks and have different talents and different aspirations for their careers, that you hope that what you have together can last as long as it can. But the reality is that they're all musical people. Damon's a writer. He's a singer, he's a songwriter, and when I joined the band, I immediately knew, hey man, this guy's capable of doing this on his own, and at some point in his life and career, he's going to want to go and do it again. And so anytime it would come up with him, he and I would talk about it, or the group would talk about it. We were always encouraging him, So we always knew that was in his cards.
Yeah.
And he was great, man. He told us, middle of last year, in the beginning of last year, and we knew that it was coming, and we just tried to plan the best time, and so yes, very bittersweet, very sad to see our brother leave, but happy for him that he's going on to be with his family and do his solo stuff and to follow his dreams, which he deserves. He deserves the opportunity.
He's a top guy. And his solo album's great as well.
Great solo album, great singer-songwriter, great person. Very honored to have played with him. Super talented guitar player, just a good guy, and he's one of those people that you just, how can you not wish him well? Root him on.
Absolutely.
And so it's one of those things. It's one of those things where you just got to encourage him, So what we did was, again, Damon was very cool about being open and honest with us, and so we talked about what the time process would be and how we would go about it, how we would announce it and stuff, and we were able to get guitar players, look at guitar players. So Chad, our drummer, lives in Pennsylvania, and Ricky and I are in Los Angeles. Scott's in London, and so we were like, man, let's look for guitar players and see who we can get. So we ended up getting Brian Tishy to play drums with us. Yeah. So Brian Tishy played drums, Ricky and I, and we auditioned, stable guitar players, a couple of days in Los Angeles, and what a great experience, Brian playing those great Black Star Rider songs. So we were just talking about Brian. So it's all like, it was a very incestuous industry, and so we did that, and you looked at a couple of different guys, and we found our guy, which is pretty
so
cool.
Did he come as a recommendation, or did he turn up to an audition?
Never auditioned. He sent a video in, which was really cool, and it's just like we got Chad. We never actually played with Chad. We saw a video. We auditioned a bunch of guys, saw a video, and went, oh, that's the guy. And so if you're ever going to audition for our band, don't come to the audition. Send in a video.
So it's important to bring somebody in that can play the material but play it their way and not try and copy somebody else.
Yeah, I think we ran into that with the drummer thing. We were like, okay, we want to, we're going to get a drummer, and Jimmy DeGrasso's Jimmy DeGrasso. I mean, you can't just get any guy off the street to do it. Yeah. So we didn't want to get somebody that was at the top of their game or top of their ability. You know what I mean? We want to grow, and we want that person to grow with us. And not to say that we're anything more than anybody else, but that was important to us, that in the guitar player thing, that we found somebody, because you're replacing a guy who sings, who writes, who's a great guitar player. He's got the great sound. He looks great. He's
the whole package. And he's a great bloke as well.
He's a great bloke as well. Yeah. And so in replacing something like that, or getting somebody to come in and take that position over, it was a tough find. But we were very blessed. He was recommended to us, I think, by Monty Connor at our label, or somebody like that. And I know that somebody came to us with it. Yeah.
So it's not just the musical side of things as well, it's that personality side as well, because you've got to know that you're on a bus for a long time with these people, so you don't want somebody that's going to, it's a very, over the years, we've spoken to most of the people from Black Star Riders, and that universally have all been really easy to get on with. So that's a requirement to join the band,
Well, I'll say this, when I auditioned, the only person I knew in the band, I'd met Damon once before through our mutual friend Kerry Kelly, and when I auditioned, I only knew Jimmy DeGrasso, and I did one gig with Kerry Kelly, like a couple of shows with Jimmy, and it was a year before, so I really didn't know him. We didn't know each other. I came down, I played the songs. I knew Marco. Marco was cool, sweet as get. Marco's amazing. And I played the songs, and they were like, okay, thanks, and I left, and I never heard from them again. Then I got the gig. So I was like, they didn't know me at all.
Yeah.
But our manager, Adam Parsons, did. I think I've said this before. He had me come out on the road with them for a week while they were finishing with Skid Row with Marco and the band. And I was very lucky to tour for a week with Marco Mendoza to watch him play bass. And that was more the inspiration for me. And I was like, yeah, so good to watch Marco. And so we got to know each other. But so in this situation, we didn't know Chad. We just we kind of rolled the dice on the idea that he seemed like a good bloke and like a good guy and a good hang. And the same thing with Christian. And we've heard great things, nothing but great things with Christian.
Did you think about bringing him on the tour just to sort of...
No, he's out with he's in a band, and he's in that band, a band called Stone Sour. Yeah. And they're out with Ozzy. We were going to have him do South America, but he was out with Ozzy, and they're in Russia right now. They've just gotten back. So he was out doing his own thing. Yeah.
We think we're cold.
Yeah.
At least we're not in Moscow.
Yeah. Oh, Moscow's beautiful. I love it.
Well, with any luck, we'll be going next year.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. So we might get a day trip to Moscow as part of a wider holiday.
Awesome.
So we're fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, I love Moscow.
So is Christian still going to be a member of Stone Sour? Is he running both?
Oh yeah,
bands?
absolutely. Yeah. There's no cause for him to leave Stone Sour to come and do this. Stone Sour's. I'm speaking purely from what I've read in the press, not from any inside knowledge or anything. But from what I've gathered, they're taking some time off, and Corey's going to go and do Slipknot, and
they're working on your album.
Yeah, and so I think it lined up well for all of us, and we were just it has to be divine, doesn't it? I mean, just like we're looking for a great guy, and he's like hello, and we're like wait a minute. So and the writing process, we've been believe it or not, it's been quick. It's been really quick. We traditionally, the way it goes about is that we Ricky's constantly writing, Damon would be constantly writing, and we would send our ideas into them, and they would hear something, they would use it. That's how the riff from Dancing with the Wrong Girl, that's my riff. I sent it to Ricky. Ricky augmented it and made it into something, and then same thing with Cold War Love, and so that's kind of what we did this time. We sent in the ideas to Ricky and to Scott this time, and then they sent them to Christian, and Christian's just been like...
So he's already been involved in that?
We've got about 16 songs already demoed. And it's been like, a month, and it's been... He's quick, and he's a great writer, and he sounds like a great guitar player, and he's a really nice guy, and so we're moving about. We start recording our new record at the end of January, beginning of Feb, and so things are moving really quick.
So what about the musical direction? Because Stone Sour are quite a heavyweight band. Is he bringing a sort of heavier, darker feel to the band, or what?
I will say this without divulging too much. I will say that everyone has their individual characters, and Christian definitely has his, and he's a dominant writer, and he's a great guitar player and a great guy, and so he definitely brings a different sound and edge to the band. But Ricky is who he is, and he writes how he writes, and the band is who we are, and so I can't really completely answer that until we actually get into pre-production and the record's done, and I can go, because we're not. Some bands have that. They write. We're going to do a 12-song record, and it's going to be called, Monkey Cherry Dog, and the first song is going to be called Eat Cherry, and the next song is going to be called Eat Dog, and then they say the first song is going to be a heavy rock song in G minor, and the next song is. They quite literally will write it out before they even write the songs or write the record, and they're like, the key change here's got to be, like Dark Side of the Moon, and you're like, what? And so it's kind of contrived to a degree, and I'm not knocking them for doing it. That's just how some people do it. The way we kind of do it is it's very organic. We get in a room like old school. We bash out a few song ideas. We have a jam. We have a good time. And if we record it and we see what ideas fit and what don't, and we quite literally develop what we're going to become. At the end of it, and that's kind of how we hope this one will go as well.
So when do you think we'll be able to hear that?
I'm not going to say till the end of end of next year.
Yeah.
I would say the plan's probably for the end of next year, but I'll let the powers that be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Decide that. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I mean, I know that we're on a really good trajectory right now, and we're very focused, and that we have a lot of momentum behind us, and a lot of the great songs that we were hoping, in demo stage or in writing stage, we were hoping they would develop into strong songs. They've developed, and so we're, it's all about just putting it in a room and getting together and putting our own marks on it, and then moving on that. Yeah. The truth is we've been doing this for so long as musicians and just as people, the fact that anybody wants to see you play or that you have the opportunity to even play is a blessing. And I love to play, and that's really what it comes down to. Is I still have a passion to play, and I still love to play, and I still love the camaraderie with the guys. And I'm a massive shit talker, as Jack Becker can tell you. And so my dogs don't speak English, so I've got to go find somebody who'll listen to me. My dogs are looking at me like, "Como?"
Robbie, it's been an absolute pleasure again. It's great to catch up with you.
Good to see you.
Enjoy your last show of the year and enjoy your time off.
Thank you so much.
Till next year when you're busy again.
Yeah, happy holidays to you, your family, and everybody, and always thank you. It's always awesome.